Gang, welcome to another Level Up video slash podcast. Today, we're going to talk about something that gets asked all the time, and it's how to master my Instagram bio. I say this in air quotes because it's something that gets asked so frequently by people, and it's really what I like to say is a small rock. You move that like kind of at the end, focus on the bigger rocks first. But because we're nice, we're going to give you a kind of overview on what we would do. Um, but this isn't going to suddenly revolutionize your business, and it's certainly not going to drag 1,000 different leads in because you've now optimized your Instagram bio.
No, no. If we're going to give them a piece of advice now, but we give the TCT members different advice,
Oh, yeah,
which drastically improves, massively drives business, multi eight-figure business just by Instagram bio.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah, so we'll give them a little bit of generic advice,
okay, yeah.
but
Let's do
internal
that.
to TCT,
That's
DM the
what they
word,
get.
DM the word
Bio.
bio. Yeah, we give them different pieces of advice.
Yeah. So what you get here basically is just a snippet. But yeah.
Instagram bio 101, go.
Yeah. So, I mean, first thing I want to touch on, because I don't think a lot of people are aware of it, is that Instagram moved away from, well, they haven't moved away. It's still a feature, whereas, as in, like, it's still, hashtags are still a thing, but a lot of what the bio in your page is now what we call SEO well, it's search engine optimized, so it's essentially aligns with SEO, which means that certain keywords within your bio, if you search, so for example, if you went on your Instagram now and searched online coach, somebody who has that within their bio would appear because it's basically optimized for a search engine which is within Instagram. So I suppose the first thing I'd say is you would have that somewhere. So this is why you see a lot of people have like name and then that sort of line, and then it'll be like online fitness coach or online coach for X, etc. So that is something that I would encourage. So gone are the days where you have to put like 20 hashtags at the bottom of each post to try and get eyes on, because it doesn't really work that way anymore. Um, you can still do it if you want to make sure a box is ticked, but really it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, when was the last time we put a hashtag on any of our content? Like,
No.
probably last, not even
I
last
actually
year.
think with hashtags, I actually think it reports as like spam after a
Yeah,
while. I've noticed a lot of people
because it's
where,
the same word.
yeah, when they mention like I my engagement sucks, I actually notice a clear um correlation with people actually doing hashtags, because if you're doing repeat hashtags over and over and over again, it looks like a bot.
Yeah, it looks like bot, but like it looks like someone's posting like from a bot, like just spamming out stuff.
Way that's what
Yeah,
that
yeah.
happened in like when I was a fitness coach in like 2017, 18. You had to change the hashtags every like two or three times, otherwise.
You could have like three of the same words, but out of the 20, you had to rotate them and have like five or six different ones. But anyway, we're digressing there. But so essentially, you want to make sure you've got your name and then kind of like online fitness coach, high rocks coach, yeah, vomit after that, that type of stuff. Then obviously you have those sort of thing, the three lines, if you like, and then into a link. So we basically kind of structure it in a way of it's like you kind of want people to know who you help, what your promise is, a time frame on how you can achieve that promise, and then a way in which they can kind of get in touch with you, or like a keyword usually
Yeah,
for
I
inbound.
like keyword and link because it gives people the option. Like if it's our one is like DMSN, but you can also hit like a link. I think if you give people choice, they're gonna. It's a bit of a weird one because like we're away from choice because choice increases friction. But I think in the CTA function, I think it works very well just to give people that choice.
Yeah. So for like an example would be, and obviously this is where you know your niche best, and or you should know your niche best and who you're working with, and that's when you can kind of be a little bit more specific in what you're saying. In other words, it's not like online fitness coach. I help women lose fat. You can be more like, I help women in their 30s lose X amount of fat in X amount of time, or in as little as X amount of time. um when you do that, is obviously you're kind of like narrowing that net, so it's like kind of like, oh, this person should look and go, oh, I'm a woman in that age group and I'm trying to do that, and it'd be great to be able to use that yeah. And then obviously it would be like a good one usually is a way in which, like, it could be that it's like DM the word X, and that's like how they can kind of learn a little bit more about what you do. And then obviously that's an inbound, and we touched on it in another episode where we said about how you go about setting things and framing things. So that's another episode. But once they're then in that sort of frame, is that's where you can take that, and then obviously from there is you would have a link, and the link that we like to suggest is something that is, I suppose, like a quick link. In other words, it's like a link to a Google form, or it's a link to a WhatsApp me, or like a direct WhatsApp link. In other words, like a straight inquiry. um so yeah, so I think if you kind of look at it that way, that's the sort of flow you would have to the bio. Now, the actual like how you word it and stuff like that is like more so aligned. Like we obviously help the TCT guys with how to exactly word it, but like um there's no like you've got to do it in a certain way, if you got to have a certain amount of emojis or anything like that. It's just kind of like I said, if you kind of go out with the framework of who you help, what your promise is to that person, and the sort of time frame it would take to achieve that, and then how they can basically take that next step of, if you want more information, is DM keyword or hit the link in the bio. um and then yeah, obviously we like say, usually we say Google form or WhatsApp, don't we?
Yeah, the thing that I get away from in the bio, the thing that I would really get away with or from is I help this person get to this result whilst or like not giving out up the foods that they love. Because being realistic, what's going to happen is you're going to get a lot of people in service who basically don't want to do anything, which is a big cause of churn. So I'd get away from like you can eat what you want and still lose weight because realistically, one, no one's stupid. So no, and it's a fact. Uh, There's people who are stupid, but people aren't stupid. And then also, you'll get people in the service who expect everything, even though you're literally giving them everything, but they're just like, "Can you do it for me?" Or like, "Why aren't I losing weight?" It's like, well, you're deep throwing about 645 guys of the weekend. Like, that's probably why, Susan.
Yeah, and drinking mayonnaise. Yeah. So yeah, so it's that's why I prefer, or why we prefer to sort of say like offer a promise, but not the promise of you can lose weight without having to give up your mayonnaise. Like, don't do that. It's more so like your promise is like, I can get you in X amount of shape in up to, or is in as little as 90 days, or in as little as 6 weeks, or whatever the, whatever it is, obviously within reason. And don't lie. Don't be like, I can get you to drop 2 stone in 4 weeks. It's like, probably not going to happen even with a Zempic, but it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously you have to have a promise that, one, you can uphold, and is like realistic. Like, don't like what would be like false market yourself.
Yeah.
Like, um but yeah, and then obviously, like I said, is you try and keep the keyword and stuff like simple as well. Like, don't make someone like try and spell like send sophisticated plan or something like that over, or unsophisticated plan. Like, just keep it simple, like plan, like coach, like something that is maybe more relevant to you, like, like mum fit or something, if it was like you were trying to help mums. Yeah, Mike uses MILF, so something like that is like, you know what I mean? It's like that type of thing where, one, it's easy for you to track because you know that those people, if that's a keyword that you only have on your bio, you know that they've come from that sort of angle. And then if you have any other resources like ebooks and stuff, you give it its own so you can track it. Um, and then obviously the link. So the link, we'll touch on Google Form first, because I
Mm.
think there's a few things that you should avoid, or you see people, or we've seen coaches, when you click on it and it's like, oh my god, like this looks like you're asking for my, like,
Credit card.
yeah, credit card details, my blood type, my the length of my hair, like
Yeah,
everything.
I
It's like,
think I think one of the easiest things to look at when it comes down to like a Google form, and if you do even a type form, to be honest, is like make it really quick. Name, number, email, phone number. That's basically it. That's all you need. You can add goal in there, but realistically, from an inquiry process, that's all you need, right? If you look at most businesses, by the way, if they're like, if you want to learn more about the business, like learn more about a service, for example, that's all they have. They don't care about your context because guess what they're going to ask you when they ring you, or guess what they're going to ask when they go through like a kind of like a WhatsApp process. It's funny because I was semi looking at like buying in Spain and buying a house in Spain, and I literally had name, number, that's it. And then I got a phone call in about 2 seconds saying, "Hey, like, tell me a little bit more about what you're doing." Easy, right? Um, but I see a lot of coaches. What they'll do is they're like name, Instagram handle, number, email, mum's maiden name, height, weight. Like you don't need that. You don't need all that. Especially like okay, if I said to you, "What's your scale weight?" Would you know it?
Estimate, but not like exactly.
Home and
Yeah, I'd
find
have to
out.
go and do it
So you
like
have to
if you
get
needed.
off the form. So you're like, "Hey, link in bio, get on my form," and then you're basically going into a form process and saying, "Go get the fuck off my form now and go away yourself." Stupid. Okay,
You basically want information that they have available in their head to just give you, which is usually their phone number, their name, their email.
that's it. Okay, and then WhatsApp me link.
And then WhatsApp me link. So essentially, this is a very similar thing. Actually basically less steps because you don't have to provide your number. You don't have to provide anything like that. All this, yeah, literally all this. What it'll do is when you set this up, is you put your own message in. So when they click it, it automatically fills it, and they just click send. So it might be something like, for example, if we're doing like you, Jack, it would be like, hi Jack, I'm interested in joining TCT and scaling my business. Can I have more information? So literally, as they click that link, it automatically opens their WhatsApp. It pre-fills that message, and they click send. Then you just reply to that message. Simple as that. From that, you've got their name, you've got their number, and then they've already raised their hand to say, "I'm interested." Simple as that.
Yep.
And we found they have worked really well. And
Yeah, if they work really well if the marketing's on point.
yeah,
There's no point in having an optimized Instagram bio if your marketing's shit.
yeah.
Basically.
In other words, like if if someone comes to your page and's like, I don't know what this guy does or girl does, is like, there's their pull day. Cool. Do they coach? Do they not coach? Like,
Oh, I love the cream of rice recipes
oh
they
yeah,
have.
like yeah, maybe that's your Instagram. Maybe that's your WhatsApp message. Can I have your cream of rice recipe, please? But yeah. So like, just to reiterate, is like that's kind of what we suggest. Yes, we do go into a little bit more detail with our guys at TCT, but it's not like a make or break. It's really not. Like, as long as like there has to be other things ticked before I start really worrying about like your Instagram. In other words, if you're putting energy into thinking like, I need my Instagram to look really, my Instagram bio, sorry, to look really good and have these emojis and have this and it needs to say this, you're really worrying about the wrong sort of
Mm.
thing. So, um, but if you do need help with obviously the content side of stuff, help with how you can actually market yourself on Instagram and certain things like that, this is something that we obviously help you with within TCT. Um, and I mean, we maybe have a free resource that helps them with setting up their Instagram bio, don't we? That we could
DM
maybe
the word.
DM the word bio.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, see, there's a good keyword. It's 3 letters, done, and we'll send you that over. But yeah, don't worry too much about your Instagram bio.